Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. The objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down Roza's amended complaint for equitable relief. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So first headline here from Reuters is basically sharing news with regard to Wall Street ending down, snapping the weekly winning run on Fed worry. So we have had a good recovery in the markets overall. So I think there was expected to be a little bit of a pullback, and hopefully we can get back to positive news again. But in other news here with regard to JP Morgan, we can see here JP Morgan have just been discovered to have deleted a whopping 47 emails in a new scandal. So we're talking about JP Morgan, Chase and Co. So the reaction here obviously from the SEC, who have taken action. They have now fined them $4 million. So I'm not sure they're blaming coding errors or IT errors, but what they are saying is they were mistakenly and permanently deleted, according to Reuters. So I wonder what was in these emails, and why is the fine such a huge fine, $4 million for a multi-billion-dollar organization. And one other piece of news I'd like to share with you is following on from yesterday's video in terms of Bitcoin. We saw Bitcoin hit 30,000 plus yesterday. Today it's hit in excess of $31,000. So the bull run is continuing. So the latest news for Bitcoin, the SEC has allowed for the launch of the first leveraged Bitcoin futures ETF in the United States, here according to Bitcoin Twitter handle. So again, positive news for cryptocurrency. So let's start by giving a shout out here to William M, who stated Roza just filed an amended complaint. She is not playing around. Thank you, Roza, for keeping up the fight. So moving on quickly to the announcement here. So we can see the amended complaint here. FINRA versus Roza is the plaintiff's second amended complaint for equitable relief in the United States District Court, Northern District of Florida. What I'm now going to do is have a look at some of the key points in the amended complaint. So I'm starting here with section 3. It states here, defendant is also a market participant. So we're talking about FINRA being a market participant with a net income of approximately $218.8 million. So when we talk about net income, that also in other language that can be referred to as profit. So that is something that they obviously achieved in the year 2021. We're currently in 2023, so I do expect them to have a net income much higher. So we do await their latest financial statements to confirm that. However, in addition to the $218.8 million profit, they also have over $1.7 billion investment, again, as of December 31st, 2021. Let's now have a look at and get an insight into the board. So on the board, they have the CEO of Herald and Latin Investments. So I'm not sure who this company is and what their background is, but I'm sure we will find out very soon. They also have the CEO of mutual fund broker, the Vanguard Group, Chief Legal Officer and General Counsel of an investment bank by the name of Goldman Sachs Group. So I'm sure some of you will know about that. In terms of the CEO of FINRA, Robert Cook, he receives a salary of in excess of $3.296 million. And that was as of 2021. I'm sure it is significantly higher right now. So congratulations to Robert Cook for having a good income. And if we move on in terms of the jurisdiction and venue, this is a reminder to the court and reminder to FINRA, this is an actionable action for equitable relief, not damages. Section 16 at the bottom, the court has subject matter jurisdiction over this action under Rule 17 CFR 24010B, Section 21 of the Exchange Act. So the court does have significant power to make a decision. Section 44, on or about December the 5th, 2022, FINRA employee Sam Draddy emailed, "We are blue sheeting both MMAT and MMTLP as we speak." So that is now obviously confirmed according to the FIRE 46. Defendant filed a day list event with the notice. So again, defendant is FINRA. MMTLP shareholders with settled positions as of the 12th of December are going to receive 1 share of NextBridge for 1 share of MMTLP. So this is an announcement shared by FINRA. And it also states here, purchases of MMTLP executed after the 8th of December will not receive the distribution. Symbol MMTLP will be deleted on the 13th of December 2022. So the language of the defendant, language of FINRA, clearly indicates purchases will continue after the 8th of December 2022. And then after that, we do know there was a significant change in heart. So if we move on to section 59, it states here, the fails to deliver after the halt demonstrate at worst secret trading and lending of shares occurring that undermine shareholder rights to a fair market value. Section 60, the fail to deliver on the halt demonstrate at best that the defendant is aware of outstanding naked short positions and failed to protect the integrity of the private company NextBridge Hydrocarbons. Section 61, the defendant created a complex nexus between itself and the shareholders of MMTLP and NextBridge Hydrocarbons. So again, significant areas of allegations there. 79, self-regulatory organisations such as FINRA or the defendant create a superiority and influence on public investors by their very existence. So I think it also gives them arrogance. It also gives them the belief that they can do and get away with anything and any action that they feel as though they are able to. Section 80, the defendant has a fiduciary duty to allow for the fair and equitable trade at market value, instead facilitate the protection of broker-dealers at the expense of shareholders. And in terms of the plaintiff's request for an accounting under federal law. So now what we're moving on to here in section 82 is the need for discovery and intricacy of the fact situation involved. So this is also going to include the blue sheets. And section 85, it states here, the appropriate remedy, particularly where the determinations may be detailed and complex, is an order to account in a proceeding in which the burden of establishing the non-existence of money due to the plaintiff rests upon the defendant. The burden cannot rest upon the plaintiff, must shift to the defendant once facts giving rise to a duty to account have been alleged and admitted. So that's a good statement. What that basically states here is the responsibility should actually be with FINRA to provide information, not upon retail investors to ask them for information. Their obviously responsibility is to protect the retail, but it looks like the retail are going up to them and they are on the defensive. It shouldn't be like that. Section 88, defendant has admitted to complexities and inquiries into fraudulent actions. So that's referring to the FIRE as well, and that is what something that FINRA have admitted to, and that obviously in terms of their Freedom of Information Act email where they talked about fraud, they have still not clarified in any detail and provided any information of this fraud that they said they are investigating. So where is that information? So number one here, shareholders cannot be determined. They cannot seek their shareholders' right. That's every single one of you who holds MMTLP right now. No information regarding short positions have been provided by FINRA, and they do have that information. The shares to the private company have not been received obviously by the plaintiff and by most people here. And any remedy or attempts to settle have not been offered or suggested by FINRA. In fact, in the Mark Basile case, the attorney also stated they are not interested in providing any settlement whatsoever. Section 11, and the next section here, defendant is not entitled to immunity. We're talking about FINRA, who are trying to claim immunity. They're trying to claim absolute immunity. Defendant is immune from money damages, and we're not asking for money damages here as a result of investment loss of retail investors. So they do have that kind of immunity, but not immunity of actions, and it does not give the defendant sweeping immunity to be beyond judicial reach. So Good point there. And if we look at the prayer for relief, the petitioner, which is Roza, requests the court enter an order granting, number one, FINRA produced to the plaintiff a full accounting and the blue sheets. This is for MMTLP and this is also for MMAT Metamaterials. FINRA produced to the plaintiff a full accounting of and all blue sheets of Nexbridge hydrocarbons. I finally like to just have a look at some of the exhibits in the amended complaint. So the first exhibit is Exhibit A, and that is Howard Dukoff's affidavit of authentication confirming the fire was true and accurate. So it states here, number 2 at the bottom, on December 11, 2022, I submitted a request for a document from the SEC and FINRA and hearing through the Freedom of Information Act, and that is when we got the emails with Sam Draddy. The other exhibit I'd like to share with you here is Exhibit G, and I think this one is interesting. This is an earlier case with which is Amiravet Securities Incorporated, which at that time was a plaintiff, versus FINRA. Surprise, surprise. And the judge in this particular case was Judge John M. Mott. So what Judge John M. Mott stated in his order was that court finds that Amiravet has asserted a proper purpose for its inspection request pursuant to 8 DLC section 220 and is not barred by FINRA's immunity at this stage. So this is a precedent. This is a strong precedent, and this is a precedent where the judge is saying FINRA does not have immunity. So the court denies defendants FINRA's motion to dismiss. So this case is important because it acts as a precedent for future cases, and we look at the order here confirming that it is ordered that the defendants FINRA's motion to dismiss is denied. So hopefully we get many more judges similar to the Honourable John M. Mott, who clearly has understood and ruled on FINRA's immunity not being absolute in all cases. And finally, if you'd like to get our weekly watch list or daily stock alerts prior to trading on Monday, you can join us. Details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.